Hi, hello everyone. Welcome. Go ahead and come into the room. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hello to those of you who are watching on Facebook, those of you who are watching on YouTube, and those of you who are watching on your mobile device or your computadora. I just got out of the shower, so I'm a little warm. Okay. Come on in the room. 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 Jenny and Sumit. Don't come over here crying, Gato. Your time to make noise was for the last 3 hours. This is quiet time. Shh, quiet time. Oh yeah, Chloe. Okay. Hello, Jasmine. Hello, Mickey. Hello, Connie. Connie all the way from Canada. How's Canada? Is it cold? I'd be scared to start a channel and only have 1 or 2 people in my live. We're gonna people usually trickle in, even though I've been pretty consistent with Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. People will still trickle in and they're like, I didn't know you were, where have you been? I'm like, I've been here. Gato. Nothing here is for you. Here. No, go over there. Go over there. Good job, Gato Bato Potato. I'm over here getting myself a Mucinex for a sore throat. And he hears it and he thinks it's this, his little treat. So I'm trying to like surreptitiously get it. And he's over here putting his little paw in my way. Like, I'm over here trying to do this and I just feel a little paw like, sir, if you don't get out of my face. Oh, these expired. Well, I feel like they should just disintegrate if they expire. It expired in August. I still need it. You know how much these things probably cost me? I don't remember, but I'm not gonna rebuy it. I'm sorry for the poor baby boy. Oh, he's not sick. You're getting a sore throat. He thinks it's candy. I thought he was sick too. Manon. Oh, someone bought this for me. It's an e.l.f. lip gloss. My neighbor, Larissa, she bought it for me. For my birthday. And so now it is my lip gloss. It always stays here so that when I go live, I'll never have chapped lips. Oh, girl, he got you sick? Yeah, they'll do that. They will do that, especially if they're out at daycare or something, getting all the germies in school. Just a little cesspool. It's getting chilly. Yeah, it's getting chilly here too. Over here in Minnesota. I feel like it's already cold in Wisconsin. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Welcome. Well, I mean, should we just get started? Well, let me get this out of my mouth. I don't want to choke on camera. I don't want to die. Every time I choke, I'm like, oh my God, Gato's not going to be able to tell people what happened. Like, I'm always like, and then who would I call to be like, I'm Jolie, my last will and testament, remind my brother he has my information. You know, Mickey, you're ridiculous. Hey, Solve It. Hello. I've never seen you before. Welcome. Let me finish this so that I'm not like slurping in your ears. Here we go. No, TLC Instagram. Let's go to TLC. Ooh. I gotta do my Christmas tree. I think I'll probably end up just doing it on Thanksgiving, even though I don't want to, but I don't think I'll have any time prior to. Because when you put up a tree, you also have to clean. From TLC Seeking Sister, right? And we have some really big news. Okay, wait a minute. Let me put this on mute, and I'm going to screen grab this, and then we'll look at it during Seeking Sister Wife. Yes, that was good. Okay, what time is it? Let's stop at the top of the hour. We're starting at 9. "21 people in the room. If I could get you guys to give this video a thumbs up to, help tickle that algorithm, that'd be awesome." Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. This is season 7, episode 11, Kicking the Ant's Nest. My name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love is Blind, Seeking Sister Wife, all that. So if you're interested in that content, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. While watching this, if you would please give this video a thumbs up. And if while watching you have, the hee ha-has because I make you key, please go ahead and give your girl a tip if you like with the options down below. You can do a super thanks for those international girlies that can't do this. Anything is appreciated. And if you give nothing, it's appreciated as well. Your views, you watching the commercials, sharing with your friends, all very, very helpful. Okay, let's jump right into this episode. Well, before we jump right into this episode, I want to let you guys know, because I don't do much promoting of it because I'm scared of just not, I don't know. Anyways, so I am doing drag here in the Twin Cities. So if you are in the Twin Cities and you have a Sunday evening open, I am doing drag at Lush, Minneapolis on Sunday the 23rd. This coming up Sunday. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and I believe the show starts at 7. So if you would like to come and support your girl, please do so. You can also support me by following me on my drag Instagram, which is Black Renaissance, BLK, Renee, RENE, Sance, SAUNCE. All right, that's a little bit about that. Okay, now let's jump right into these characters. For some reason, my phone does not recognize my face, and yeah, I don't know if it's because I cut my hair shorter. Surely when I'm in drag, it doesn't recognize it, but this is getting frustrating having to continuously put in this information. Okay, episode 11. So with episode 11, we are starting out with Manon and Anthony. So they are getting ready and they're exiting the house, and she wants to open up her umbrella. And he's like, no, just go. It's 2 seconds. And she's like, I'm not going to mess up my coat. And I have two minds about this. This is such a stupid and little interaction. But I feel like Anthony doesn't know Manon. And I feel like he doesn't know her. So he kind of maybe accidentally on purpose does things to upset her. And so maybe because I'm on her side for the most part, I get frustrated when I see him do things that I know he has to know is going to upset her. And this is one of those little things. Like if I'm putting up my umbrella to go outside and the person behind me, my husband, the father of my child, says to me, just go, it's only 2 seconds. Like, I'm sorry, sir. I don't need you to help me decide what I'm going to do. I have already decided. And I have decided that I'm going to take out my umbrella. If I decided that I didn't want to take out my umbrella, I wouldn't have taken out my umbrella. And I mean, she said she didn't want to get her coat wet, but I'm like, you also maybe don't want to get your hair wet. Who knows what her hair is going to react afterwards. Anyways, so they get into the car. And now this is where I'm like, Manon, you got to chill. Listen, I'm an emotional person, boots the house down. There are some times where I'm having so much emotions and I'm having so much feelings that I literally have to leave people. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go home now. I've had enough. Because the next person who asks me or says something to me that is mildly annoying, I'm going to go off. So they're in the car and she's really excited to see this property in Green Province or Provincia de Vet. And she says it's a great location because it's an hour outside of the city and they're just far enough away from her family to where she's comfortable, because she's had enough with her family. Like, she thinks that her parents are picking on her. And based on what we think that argument was, I would agree that they already have a preconceived notion of how she's going to behave, even though that may be her character profile. And especially probably was her character profile when she was younger, a teenager, and in her early 20s, because the girl can barely control her emotions now. I can only imagine what it was like when she didn't even know that her emotions were explosive. So they've had it up to here with her and they're constantly making her feel bad. So she should get out of the situation. She should just get out of the situation and find peace for herself. So good. And he starts to talk about how, if the house costs $420,000 and they have $100,000, it does not make sense for them to sink all of the $100,000 into the home. And she's like, well, I want a home. Like, I really think this is a great space and I'm willing to sink all of this and I'll just recoup it, because in her mind, she's going to go out and work really hard and she'll make the money back. And I think the same way too. Now, I sometimes don't go out and make that money back, even though I might try. Sometimes the fruit, it doesn't happen. However, I think Manon feels like she has a solid plan, and her solid plan is like, I don't know, getting fresh lavender and making an aromatherapy situation, which I'm like, girl, that's, you can't bank on that. Go on ahead and just get you a job at Lancome or L'Oreal or whatever French company is there, and just get a little get a little job, and then we can talk about whether or not you want to give up $100,000. And so he's trying to get her to understand that, like, if she does go back to work to recoup the $100,000, then she's going to be putting herself back in the same situation where she's not spending time with the family because she's a workaholic. She immediately gets upset and she's yelling. She's like, I can't live in an apartment. Just throw me out, stop the car, and I'll get out right now if that's what you want. I can't live in an apartment. And in my mind, I'm like, you're overreacting. This is a wild overreaction. But also, Anthony he's being a reality star in this moment and purposely having a conversation with her, trying to level set with her in a moment where she's at the highs of the highs. And we know that her pendulum swings are wild, loosed, and fast, like whoosh, right on the other side. So they finally get to the venue and they get inside and she loves it. I feel differently. So they sit down after she's oohing and ahhing and says several times how she could just be naked doing stuff. And I'm like, yeah, for how long? Benjamin's going to be of age soon. Put some clothes on, girl. But anyways, she's like, I could be naked here. Oh, look, I could be naked. Oh, look, this is beautiful. So they sit down, they start talking about finances, the fact that they don't have their money in a French bank and if they would be able to get a loan and things like that. And the real estate agent is like, well, if you have cash, rarely people just have cash to put down on a home. So that's good. However, the issue is that this house has asbestos. And so the owners are willing to bring down the price. And I think it was like, I don't know how much they brought it down, but to me, it wasn't a lot. I'm like, for asbestos, they said it was going to cost like $40,000 or $50,000 to fix it. So the owners would bring down the price $50,000. And I'm like, the owners will bring down the price $65,000 is what they'll do, because I'll need that extra $15,000 for my pain and suffering. For my pain and suffering. I will take this cottage off your hands and you will accept less because you did not do your due diligence and fix this house up. Because the house needs to be fixed up. So she was talking about how in France you can haggle and and how she's going to be good at that. And I was just like, well, you better haggle this shit down because this little cottage is not worth it for me. That bathroom was small. The kitchen was ugly. I couldn't even see outside really. She's like, look at the view. And it's like a dark space. And we're like, it's so beautiful, I guess. So she wants to buy the house though. But he brings her back to earth and he's like, there are other options. And I think the fact that it has asbestos and it's going to need so much work, it was kind of, daunting to her. Cause I'm like, girl, once you take the roof or once you start doing stuff, you'll find other stuff. Mark my words. And then you'll want to do other stuff. That's why. So it needs to come down more than just $50,000. So then they're in the car ride home and, she's talking about, ways to recoup and their finances and things like that. And Anthony is like, yeah, that's fine. But as long as we look at other properties, and she's aligned with that as well, to look at those other properties. So she's like, I could go do this, this, and this. And he's like, well, we don't want to go back to you solo providing anymore. Remember, like, I'm going to get a job and I'm going to do all these things. And she's like, you're never, ever going to be able to make as much money as me. I'm sorry, but like, I did not come here to like survive. I came here to thrive. Otherwise, I might as well just go back to LA. You just make pennies compared to what I make. And he's offended because he's like, that makes me feel like I'm not good enough for her. And I wanted to be like, well, Anthony, then learn the language and go get a job. Am I being too hard on him? Like, we live in an age now where it's honestly, the spoils go to the victor. The one who has the most earning potential is probably going to be the one that works. It's probably like, and so for you to feel some kind of way The fact that like she's always made more money than you, and it feels like you've been okay with that. If that was the case, you should have started learning French immediately so that you can what it feels like to me is, yes, he's offended and I'm sad for him in that, but I also think then step up to the plate and grab a bat. Step up to the plate. But no, you don't want to step up to the plate. You want her to be okay with you just hanging out in the dugout. And then when she talks shit about you hanging out in the dugout, doing your little thing, getting your little waters, handing out towels that you're content doing. And when she's like, I step up to the plate, I don't sit in the dugout and hand out towels and water to the players. I'm actually a player. You're offended. Be happy where you are and be solid in your pennilessness, or step up to the plate. I don't have any more baseball references for you, so that's the end of them. The next couple that we are going to talk about is Dylan and Pattiya. So Dylan and Pattiya are going for a night out, okay? And I forget where they are all the time. When they start to show us like little shots of who it is and where they're going, and I see the billiards table or the pool table that has red and yellow balls on it, I'm like, what game is that? Like, I was so confused. And then when I saw Dylan's hair pop up around the corner, I was like, oh, we're in Australia. Okay. Whew. I was like, what is this game that I do not know of? And so he and her are going to an Irish bar. And she's like, wow, I've never been to an Irish bar in Australia. And I'm like, it's probably just as bad as the Irish bars in the US. I would like to go to an Irish bar in Ireland and see what that's like, and then come back and make a connection. There's an Irish bar in every town in all across America. Well, not every town, but every major city. I mean, most of them don't even serve bangers and mash or like whatever else. Most of them don't even serve it. They barely got Guinness and Jameson. They barely got it. So anyways, they get there and she's like, oh, it's dead. And I'm like, but if you don't sit your little ass down, girl, what you need this bar to be popping for on a Tuesday night? And you're coming here to film. What does she think she's gonna do? Party? Girl, if you don't sit your ass down, get a heat pack, prop your feet up, and watch some TV like the rest of us aging biddies, talking about there's nobody here. That's my favorite type of bar, is when no one's there. So they get there, and then his friends join. And I kid you not, before I saw who Glenn was to Dylan, I said, that looks like Dylan's mother. And it sure is. It sure is. So there was a friend who came, and he was also with the people down under, the Thunder down under. So she knows him from the skin game. And then Glenn, his brother, comes, and she has a big hug for him. And they're like, oh, have you met her mom? Have you seen Joe? And she's like, yes. I was like, how did everything go? Everything went great. And Pattiya's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell Joe, I'm not going to tell Glenn my inner feelings, because Dylan tells me all the time that his brother's a shit talker. And if he can act nice and say things, sweetly to you, but he'll go back and tell that. And I'm like, ooh, I hate a gossiping Betty. Do I love it when I get the gossip? Yes. But do I love it when they turn on you? No. And you have to be very careful with people who are like that. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. When I've identified somebody as like a gossiper or someone who tells other people's business, sometimes it's like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. Like, I'm glad I got the tea. But there's other times where someone tells you something and you're like, and that's your friend? Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. You're not trying to protect that person. That's not your friend. You know what I mean? You've been in those situations, right? And you know that they're going to talk about you. So now you realize, and it's like good when you realize early, so that you can either let them know not to tell your business, or B, you can not tell them your business. And that's something I had to do with someone I really enjoy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell you this, but you better not tell nobody. I had to already stop that person from when I invite them over and they invite other people. I'm like, oh, no, No. I invited you. So you cannot now go tell people that I'm doing something and then tell them they should come because that's not your place to do that. Like, you know, over here in Minnesota, people are real nice. These white folks is real nice over here. And they just be like, oh yeah, you should come. No, I'm not gonna come. Who's throwing this? No, that person needs to invite me. I'm not just gonna show up to somebody's like event. Or I'm going to my friend's house. Come with. No, you go by yourself. Or ask them right now if you can bring up someone. Ask them. Anyways, because I'm a who all gonna be there type of girl. A who all gonna be there type girl. Okay, I can't be hanging out just with anybody. Especially if I'm throwing it, absolutely not. So, anyways, um, they're there and having a good time, and Dylan is like, I have to go to the bathroom. And it feels like he says he has to go to the bathroom when this conversation starts to get a little sticky about their relationship and their relationship with Joe and what's going to be different this time. And we get a little confessional from the friend from Down Under. And he says that he loves them. He loves them together. And he says that when Dylan is with Pattiya, he's the best version of himself. But they have gone up and down for so many years that it's just there's something that stops them from truly kind of connecting and understanding each other and staying together. And he doesn't have any faith that this is going to be this time. And cut to Dylan getting on stage, singing a song that he wrote for Pattiya, and she starts to cry. He serenades her, which is so cute. I'm ungrateful because if you're going to serenade me, it better be all bad and terrible, or it better be all good. Like the in between is weird to me. I'm like, did you get someone to help you with that note? That note was beyond you, sir. That one note right there. The guitar playing was good. That note you tried to hit is beyond you. But anyways, it was sweet. He apologized to her for taking the ring back. And I also thought it was a little embarrassing. Like, I would be so embarrassed if somebody got on stage and was like, I know I took the ring back right away after, and I know we did this, and I know, but I'm trying to love you better, and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, just write a poem and stick it in a box of chocolates and give it to me. Like, put that in a poem. Don't get in front of everybody and tell everybody how you did me. Don't get in front of everybody, tell everybody how you did me. So she starts to cry and she's like, I really do hope that we can make it last this time because I can't do this anymore. And I was like, girl, you better than me. I'm immediately, you don't text me back, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. So to break up and get back together and break up and get back together, girl, couldn't be me. So next scene we have is we go to his mother's home, and she is, really trying to make the best of it. And she's like, oh my God, look at the view. It's beautiful. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. They get into Joe's home and they hug, and Dylan is like, I can see that my mom and Pattiya are just faking the funk right now. And Patia's like, yeah, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I'm just pretending like everything is okay. And I'm like, you're doing a really good job. Both of you are doing a really great job. There is no reason, even though you don't like each other, there is no reason for you to be uncivil to each other. You have to be in this situation. You have to have dinner together. You have to see each other because you both love Dylan. And there is absolutely no reason for you to be not cordial or passive aggressive, even though Joe already started with her finances. And so they're sitting down, they're eating. Mom lets it slip that they're eating kangaroo. She didn't want to eat kangaroo, even though she said it tastes like steak, which now makes me go, I would like to try kangaroo. But whatever they had on their plate it must have been fine for his macros because he was gobbling it down. I noticed there were no grains on there. It was just like veggies and salad and a spot of meat, which, listen, delicious. And so basically mom calls it out and she's like, I know you don't like me. So like, what's going on? And Pattia's like, well, Dylan told me that you didn't like me and that you thought he could do better to get with someone younger who could have kids. And she's like, I absolutely didn't say that, Dylan. And Dylan's like, well, I don't remember saying that. So I'm sorry if that's and she's like, you were very upset and we were arguing and you said that to me. And he's like, I'm so sorry that I said that to you. She didn't say that to me. I'm sorry that I said that. And he never really admitted. He's like, I don't remember saying it to you, which is annoying. Which is annoying. And she's like, that's what it all stems from. You said that. And so this is why I had an issue because, and I'm like, why also didn't you say that you also are frustrated that Dylan tells you a lot of your business and you feel judged by her because of the age and because he tells you, he tells Joe all of their like financial troubles or all of her issues and stuff like that. And Joe's like, I never said that. I would have never said that. And Glenn's like, yeah, she would have never said that. That's so odd. And they both feel like Pattia's lying about it. And Pattia's like, now I look crazy. In the confessionals, though, they do ask Dylan, they're like, did you say that to her? And he's like, I might have said that to her in the heat of moment of arguing. I mean, or something like that. Like, I truly don't remember like specifically, but yeah, I might have said that. And I'm like, then you should have said that to your mom. Yeah, mom, I might have said that in the heat of anger. And I do apologize. And the thing is, though, what's funny is that I've had someone do that to me too, where they like made a comment about something. And I was like, who told you that? Did that happen? And they're like, yes. And the way that they said yes made me believe like it didn't happen, but it was plausible or something. And I was like, well, now you can't be trusted. Like, you cannot throw things out at me in anger. And then when I react to it, and then you're like, well, maybe that's not quite true. Like, now you're a liar and I can't be trusted. But anyways, so this whole hate has been predicated on the fact that she believes that the mom thought that she was too old for him. And I thought, based on how she described it, that Joe had actually said it to her face. So it's really shitty of Dylan to have said that to her, even if it was true or not true. You get like, that's, I would not be able to trust anything out of Dylan's mouth at that point, because you purposely said something to me that you knew would hurt me and it wasn't true, but you said it to hurt me. And then I created this entire narrative based on this. And then we get to brass tacks and the woman didn't even say it. And the woman is like, how could that just be it? And she's like, well, that's it. Every frustration stems from that. I didn't want him talking to you because I didn't want him telling you, or I didn't want you in our business. Like, and I'm just like, you held a grudge against this lady for this long and you didn't even hear it out the horse's mouth? That's crazy. That's crazy. Hi, sister. How are you? Could you imagine holding a grudge off of something that someone said, someone else said, and they didn't even say it? 11 years. Girl. That's wild. That's wild. So now Pattiya is like mad at Dylan. And I don't know. Next episode is probably going to be her being mad at him. She's like, I'm okay with you guys talking now that I know that didn't happen. And I was like, you're okay with them talking? Now I see why Joe is like, Now I see why Joe feels that way. Because I would be the same way. I'd be like, oh, thank you for allowing me to talk to my son now that you know that I didn't say that. All right, moving on to Jenny and Sumit. So they are at the grand opening, or the second grand opening, of Family Cafe. And as we know, Jenny is put in charge of the espresso machine, but she doesn't know how to use it. Her sister-in-law had to show her how to use it, but she didn't take any notes. I don't know if she thought that the sister-in-law Shai was gonna be there, or what she thought, that she was just gonna go in and maybe somebody was just gonna eventually help her. I feel like Jenny's one of those people, like, in my mind, the older she's gotten, the less self-sufficient she is. Like, that's the way it feels for me. She's like, I've never done this before. And that's not an excuse. You were all down their throats about them giving away free food, talking about, oh, we're never going to move out. We're never going to have our own life, because they gave away free food one day, and that they don't know how to do business. Girl, you don't know how to make a cup of coffee. You don't know how to use an espresso machine. You don't even know where your supplies were. You didn't even know how to put on the damn grinder. And then when he's like calling her out on it, she's like, you want me to leave? Okay, go ahead and go. So anyways, they get there and they open up the door of the place. And she's like, we need a ladder. And I'm, you know what? Jenny is one of those people who likes to sit back and provide observations and like tell people what they're doing wrong, but has no discernible skill set themselves to actually like get up and do the thing themselves. Like she's like, we need a ladder to open the door. And it's like, no one needs a ladder but you, Jenny. And the ladder was right there on the side. So get a ladder, climb it, and open the door. Well, so I don't want to do it. Sumit's going to do it. What in a ladder? No, Jenny, no one needs a ladder. So then we get inside, everyone's cooking, and she's over here and she has a customer for coffee and he wants a cappuccino. And she's like, new. I'm new. New? Girl, you were trained yesterday as a barista. Why didn't you take notes? You knew you were going to be here today by yourself. Because Sumit's like, okay, everyone, assign yourself something to do and don't be idle. I love the way non-English, that is, okay. So like British colonies, the way that they speak English is so fun to me because that's a very like, that's also like a Caribbean cadence way of saying it. Like, I know a friend of mine says that she was dating this Nigerian man and he's like, let's not quarrel. And I said, quarrel? Yes, yes. And it's such a British colony thing to use, like words, different ways to say it. Like, everyone assign yourself a task and don't be idle, which is so very specific. Anyways, so yeah, she gets to the front. She doesn't know where the carafes are in order to steam the milk. And first thing is that she doesn't understand that the grinder needs to actually be turned on and plugged in. So she calls out for Papa, and Papa, who is probably 2 years younger than her, comes and you know, it's like fiddling around with it, trying to help her. And finally, the patron is like, it doesn't have any electricity. There's no current or something. He says it in another British way. Like there's no, it's not plugged in. And so she's like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, you don't even have the shit plugged in? Girl, do you know how long it takes the hot water to boil? And then you got to like steam the milk. Like all of that is going to take time for the machine to like build up. So then you're like, so then she's like trying to do it. And the guy's like, I got to go. This man stood back, got mic'd up, or at least filled out some documentation with the people, with the producers, and at the end of it ended up telling them how to do it, telling them he needed to go. Sumit's like, just stay, give me 2 minutes. And he's like, no, I gotta go. And then he leaves. I said, bravo, sir. Thank you for being our extra character, adding so much context to this thing. This was a great scene. And Jenny was like, Sumit was disappointed because, you know, that was the first customer and she lost it. And so he's like, Jenny, that's our first customer. And you weren't ready. And she's like, well, I could just leave. And I would have said, then take your ass on then. Go. Because that can't be the attitude. You should have apologized. Apologize for not knowing what you were doing. You should have said, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I did learn yesterday, but I forgot. I thought I didn't think it would be so easy. I mean, so hard. And when the customer came, it threw me off and I felt the pressure. So I'm sorry, it won't happen again. She didn't say that. Her reaction is like, well, then you do it, or I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm blah, blah, blah. Then go ahead and go then, girl. So then he goes to the back and his parents are talking shit. And he's like, no, let's be patient with her. And I love that. He's going to tell her the business, but also he's going to defend her, you know, when someone's talking about her. So I love that. I said, good job, Sumit. Support your lazy ass woman. Support her. All right, last couple that we have is Chloe and whatever, Johnny. God, they're so boring. I am not invested at all. I don't care. Just because it just feels like these two episodes are episodes where a wealthy parent is trying to goad their child into better behavior by dangling a carrot of money over their head. And I wish that she would just be like, I can't support you anymore. All the best. But she wants to like nitpick every single thing. And I'm like, Chloe's 23 years old. Let her go there and fail and call you. Don't send her any money. Tell her, listen, girl, if I send you any money, it's going to be for you to get a plane ticket to come home. That's the money I'm sending you. In fact, I'm not even sending you the money. I'm buying the plane ticket. Like, that's what she just needs to do. If you want to move here, I cannot finance this. And if you want to be financially independent and do what you want, if you want to do what you want to do, then you're going to have to be financially independent. And right now you're not. So those are your two options. And I'm sorry to break it to you, babes. But to go there and then to like weed through all of her plans and find fault in them to try to like get her to have common sense. The girl is going to do what she wants to do. She loves Johnny. She's going to do what she wants to do. She loves Johnny. There's nothing you can do. So just let her love Johnny and put the boundary on yourself of like, I'm no longer going to pay. I don't want to watch things of this woman dangling a carrot in front of them. So they go to dinner. Johnny shows up. She tells Johnny she thought she says, Johnny walks up and she's like, I thought you were the help. I thought you were the waiter. And I was like, girl, he is the help. He is the waiter. Your vacation bae is the waiter. So anyways, he sits down and mother's like, yeah, the prices you said the car was going to cost is not what it's going to cost. And he's like, well, oh, that's crazy. Well, maybe you should just ship her car. I said, ship her car. Mom's like, no, we've already had a conversation about what we're going to do with that car. And it's not being shipped to Aruba. And then they start talking about whether they're getting a job permit and how she has to get a permit through the business that she works for and they'd pay for it, or else it would cost $600 every 3 months for her to keep her work permit. I said, Aruba don't want foreigners working in their country. If that is true, they don't want foreigners working in their country. I'm like, $600 just for the permit is crazy in itself, but every 3 months? That's wild. So the mother is like, that's not sustainable. And she's like, well, the other thing that we can do is we can get a partner, like something. And she's like, is that like a marriage? She's like, no, marriage certificate is a marriage certificate. This is like a partner, whatever. I guess I have a partner here and I can get a work permit. And the mother's just like, this doesn't make any sense. And so Chloe's getting frustrated because her mother's poking holes in all of her ideas. And I said, why do that? Just tell that girl you're not going to pay her bills no more and go home. You don't have to poke through it. You have to poke through her stuff. Let her fly. Tell her she got to get out of her own. She got to get herself out of her own messes. Just let's be very clear with that. I can't do that for you. I'm so sorry. And Johnny thinks it's a good idea for the mom to cut her off so that she can grow up. Because Johnny's like, I'm never going to be able to get you the life that you have with your mom. So honestly, you should just go home. I feel like Johnny wants her to go home. Okay. The second thing that happens is the mom is like, the only way I can help you is if you guys come to Boston. So now she's dangling that carrot, being like, I'll just pay for you and Johnny come to Boston. And I'm like, Johnny, don't fall for it. You're never going to be able to survive in Boston the way you're surviving in Aruba. Don't fall for it, Johnny. So you stay in Aruba. You stay in that sunshine. You stay on that pirate ship. You don't go to Boston. So that was the end of their segment. It wasn't exciting. It was just like, oh, TLC, give me something new. Stop giving me the same old nonsense, the same old boring. Like a domestic partnership type deal, maybe. I don't know. I do not know. Johnny is like, I want my woman. Time for you to go. Yeah, I know it is boring because it's nothing original or new. It's the same. It feels like the same thing. True, she doesn't even know how to cook spaghetti. Yeah, she cannot do anything. Imagine being Jenny's age and not knowing how to do anything. I just really want to know what the woman does. Like, what do you do and what do you do well? Those are the things that I want to know. What did Carmen say back here? I saw something. Oh, thank you, 1,000 pieces. You understand what I'm talking about. Don't be having people come to places and you didn't ask me if you didn't come. Oh, thanks, Bubbly. Ah, I've been in Europe and they all speak English, even France, but why didn't she want to stay in the USA? He wouldn't have had any problem getting a job. Oh, it was his idea to move to France so that they can have a better work-life balance. So they could get away with it all because they were on their way to divorce. Sounds to me like this was the first time they were talking about what job he would get. I mean, he said he was in security. I don't know what kind of security. I don't know if it's cybersecurity, but whatever it is, she's like, pennies, pennies. You will make pennies compared to me. He's like, that hurts my feelings. And I'm like, well, then step it up, Chuck. Step it up. All right. That's the end of this episode, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna come back at 7:30 and I'm gonna talk Seeking Sister Wife. Got a lot of stuff for that. Got 2 videos now. Before I just had 1. Now I got 2. All right, you guys. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Black Renaissance, BLKRENE Sance, ASAUNCE, as well as Just Call Me Wa on all your social medias. I have a show this coming Sunday, the 23rd at Lush, Minneapolis. So if you are in the Twin Cities area and you'd like to come and see a girl, please do so. Otherwise, y'all have a fantastic day. Let's see. Did I thank anybody? Yeah. All right. You guys have a fantastic day. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line. Rock your body on time. Okay. I believe you. Jump in the line.